Hey, folks, how y'all doing? It's Sticky here with Sticky's Cabana podcast once again. We as you can tell, we're missing our little furry buddy over here, Topher, today. He's out sick. But I'm going to kind of go around the table here and have people introduce themselves, and we'll get started here. And off to my right here, we got the ever fabulous
Kim.
Yes. And Kim, as everybody knows, is our general manager at the Cabana. And then across the table from us here,
Joker Stealth.
all right,
Old Mid-Mo Joe, buddy.
Midmo. Yep, there we go. And like I said, I'm glad you brought Derek with you, of course, or Joker here. To the show as well. That's something we were really wanting to get you in here again. Last year we it was a spur of the moment thing last year.
Yeah, it
is what
was.
That was crazy too. In a trailer.
Yep.
Never thought you'd see that
Oh,
one.
I had a good old time, buddy.
Yeah, it was just a great time on it.
Yeah, it was.
It was. So if you don't mind, why don't y'all describe the type of music y'all perform?
Bullspit itself, we're more into like the country and country rap and then the songwriter type music. As Bullspit Nation, we have other artists in our group and we do all kinds of different genres in that. But on the Bullspit itself, we're mainly country rap and I would guess you would call like conscious rapper writing.
Okay.
And then you got me kind of out in left field that does the wild stuff, really.
No, maybe once or twice.
Every now and
Yeah,
then.
every now and then. I kind of feel for that.
Yeah, I stick out like a sore thumb to compare to the other team, but it's all good.
And Derek, you're part of it, aren't you? Correct?
Yeah, I do. I make some beats and help them out, and then I help produce some of the music. And
Okay.
I'm starting to make some songs, so we're gonna see how that goes.
I remember I've seen a
So,
little bit of it here.
Yeah, I've got some made. They're getting there.
That's good. Now, do you prefer Derek or Joker Stealth?
Derek's fine.
Derek's fine. That's
Yeah.
what I'm used to calling you.
Yeah,
Just
no,
kinda
that's
go
Yeah.
with it.
fine.
And we know old Mid-Mo here. We just go with that.
There you go.
Just go with that. Do you have any questions for him today?
Well, okay, this may seem odd coming from a person of my, pigment.
Yeah, you just can.
No, this is from stealing the souls of other people's. You know how gingers get all their freckles, stealing souls.
Yeah.
Souls. How do you think I got like this? It's the
I
amount of
get
souls
you.
I have. Yeah.
I get you.
That's
There you go.
Anyway, back to the point at hand. Conscious rapper.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Conscious rapper is ones that are looking at everything from outside the box in. So they can sit there and pick out like an author does in a book, like where they will write about all the little things they see within between the lines. So a lot of rappers like to stick in a lot of the same subjects because I just don't think their minds are thinking like some other people. I think some people think one way and some think another.
Do
And
you mean, perchance, say in more mainstream rap, the subject of, let's say, bitches and G's, and I got this.
yeah, okay,
and
so
bling, and
all
that's
right.
very
I
common.
don't think I think guys like 50 Cent, great rapper. But I don't think he was a conscious rapper.
Okay.
I think J. Cole and guys like that, they're more of a conscious rapper.
Okay.
So these guys are looking. Tupac was a conscious rapper.
Right.
Like he had his vibe music that was like to get pumping up, but he really looked at things from outside the box in. So I got artists on my team that aren't really hype guys. So it's really kind of difficult sometimes to play them in certain bars and stuff because bars just want that music to keep you going, drink, and have a good
Instead
time.
of thinking.
Yes, and these guys are absolutely amazing rappers, but they're conscious rappers. So you have to find like the right spaces to put them in for the people to be ready to,
And
take it in.
that's kind of what I thought you meant by that. I don't know if it's just because of my own upbringing and background and who I hung around. I have a wide variety of music I listen
Yeah.
to, but certain genres that I really do like, I haven't necessarily broken it down into all the subgenres. So
Yeah.
I don't think I was aware of that term previously.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I really didn't either, really, until like I got into working with more artists and like having such a wide range of guys I work with that I had to start breaking things down because like to set these shows up right, if I don't break down certain things, then the shows don't flow right.
right, you can't have the party atmosphere with like three of your guys and everyone's just hyped for that
Yeah.
partying and everything, and then you got your one guy right
Yeah,
who's the conscious rapper,
exactly.
and
So-
it's like, whoa, totally different vibe.
So if we happen to have that in a situation, we might open him to get him just going, and then we just keep bringing the vibe up. There's one artist that does country, really hardcore jitterbug.
Yeah, we've had him up there.
You know, I've come to find out on the shows as we do that it's actually easier for us to build up, and like instead of me closing it out now, I'll build up to my point, boom, and then we let Jitterbug close it out. So it's not he's getting music now that's more up and hype, but at that point it was a lot more slower stuff. So we like would hype it and then get right to the end and just kind of let him just kind of close it out on.
Okay,
And
that
we
makes
actually
sense.
had Jitterbug open for a country show. That
Yeah.
we had, because of what his style was.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's
Yeah.
and he's got some stuff out now that's I don't know if we've released it yet, but there's 2 or 3 songs that are like it's really gonna show a different side of him with the rap and country, and it's unbelievable.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's young, he's got some great talent. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can
21.
get him up. Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal what he's doing.
Oh yeah, for sure. So here's a question. I'm sure some people we always will like to figure this out. Y'all have names that you all use for when you with your hip hop.
Yeah.
That you do. How'd you all come up on those names?
Bull Spit.
Yeah.
Well, it all started off with pit bulls.
Okay.
So, because I got pit bulls, so I was trying to figure out how to get that in without being like your. A lot of rap game has the bull, the pit bull, the bully, the this, this, that, and so we also, when we started this, we had short films, as well as we were gonna start doing podcasts as well. So it's like bullshitting around. So it's
Yeah.
like it all just kind of fit in with Bull Spit, and that's just kind of how it all organically came. It was kind of weird. Like we really wasn't trying to force a name, but we were also trying to figure out the right name. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how
And
it happened.
then you all as artists, how did y'all come up with your all's names too?
When I traveled, I traveled a lot, and when I did, a lot of people would call me Mojo for Missouri Joe. So like Mojo just didn't seem like it was going to be a name that was gonna really remembering. So like it just one day, like you always hear on the radio like mid-mo, and like I'm was raised right in here, you know, like so it just all fit, just Mid-Mo Joe. Like
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you with yours there?
I tried several and they were taken.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
after looking for so long, I finally just decided to use my gamer tag that I had used since I started playing on Xbox.
Yep,
So
makes sense.
Oh, do you really want to put this out here, man? Do you know how many people are going to be looking for that? I mean, on every
go.
platform. Like, can we find him?
They might.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There you go.
I'm very stealthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
gonna have everybody coming for Joker stealth now.
No, I'm just a fan of the Joker, and then I was trying to find a gamer tag. It's the same thing trying to find a gamer tag, that wasn't a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
So I was just a fan of the Joker, and in the games I like to play, I like to be stealthy, sitting there with a knife jumping out of the weeds and
Yeah.
getting them while they're trying to plant the bomb or something like that, So
You have
I put
opened
those
up
two
a can of
together.
worms. Can of worms here because I love certain superheroes and everything and villains. I like DC villains. I love DC villains.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, which Joker's your favorite
Oh, Keith
and
Ledger.
why?
He just did an amazing job. I mean, he was believable. Like, just absolutely believable. So, I thought it
method
was
actor,
great.
He literally went insane playing that role. That's
Yeah.
why he ended up back on the drugs and ended up ODing, unfortunately. I mean, a horrible loss,
Yes.
for that kind of talent. But I can see why.
What
He's
a-
a lot of people's favorite.
What about you? Which one's your favorite Joker?
Ooh, see, it's a combo.
Who do you?
I love Jack Nicholson's energy.
Yep.
Okay, definitely. And it also the old school Joker from the original with
Yeah.
Adam. What was his last name?
Adam West.
West.
Yeah, Adam West. Adam West when he was Batman. That Joker, I liked him just because he was like this almost comically debonair
Yeah.
gentleman Joker kind of a just.
I mean, the whole thing was real campy in the
Yes,
first place.
it was. But then it almost kind of transferred into Jack Nicholson's with that. Of course, I kind of like, how they crazily put the Prince songs in there with that. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But then I did like the Suicide Squad Joker in some ways, but not as unfleshed out in what they made it into. And
Yeah.
but then my other is Heath Ledger. Definitely Heath Ledger is just a huge sacrifice to really mentally go there. To not just say I've studied this type of role, but now I'm living it. I fully understand it. I am it. I don't know if I could go that far for a role. I mean, I want it to be believable, but whew.
No, you're right. There's certain artists do that. Like, I like Christian Bale. He'll do stuff like that. Like they'll take the extra 6 months out to really get into what needs to be.
And was it American Psycho? Oh my gosh, I don't even want to know what he went through
Yeah.
to do that.
I could only imagine.
That mindset, it was amazing. But yeah, that was a very roundabout way for me to explain things. But I don't have just one. Honestly, if you could combine certain elements of those Jokers, I'd have my perfect Joker.
Well, that's probably what kind of makes the Joker kind of cool about it is you can take different approaches into how he could be, and as long as you portray it, as long as you try to do it right, you can make him believable.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, I like how every Joker that's really been out there on the mainstream has all had their own thing. Even like I say, the Suicide Squad. There's a lot of people that will knock that.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool, the approach they even took towards that kind of character and just try to portray it off. And I'll give Jared Leto credit on that.
I'll stay quiet on the subject. I don't know much about DC, Marvel. That's not my style at all. I know who the Joker is. I couldn't tell you who played who. I have no clue.
When it comes to the Joker, just because of Derek, I know it. I don't know when you go beyond what you're saying with the Marvel and DC. I get really confused.
Yeah.
But this guy, if it's the Joker, the Ninja Turtles, I pretty well kind of got that subculture
I
down.
think each one of them, and some people will shy away from saying, "Ooh, I like a villain." It's like, shoot, some of those are my favorite ones over the heroes. Please.
Yeah.
but then I'm a different weird person, so
I like the villain that had the reason, like the villains that they'll just pop out of nowhere and just kind of have be crazy. Like they can be a cool character, I guess, but like the villain that actually like when you break down his side of the story, you're like, wow, I can actually see why he is this way.
yeah.
And like that's what I really enjoy about villains because like I think that's what like authors and stuff like that write are really trying to portray off that like these villains in comics aren't much different than the villains in real life.
Or
It's
just
our
you and I. Because
exactly.
You know what? It depends on how you deal with your traumas.
Exactly. Like
Disappointments.
everybody you can be one way and then have this certain thing happen and it can totally change. And like, so that's what's really cool about the writing of comics because you can really like dig deep and down to yourself and be like, I can be that same exact person. Like,
I have a question for you.
what's up?
Well, actually, for both of you, being artists.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about I suppose the most poignant piece of work you have that has come from, if not trauma, some type of sadness, just that, moment that really hit you,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad or whatever. Thinking about like, our villains and anti-heroes and everything, because me, myself, I love Deadpool and think of myself as Lady Pool. Don't ask questions. But anyway, I just feel that you guys have chosen the route as artists to express it. Tell me about that song and maybe why you chose to put it into song.
I guess the one that makes me out to look more like the villain, I guess. But so put it like, I did a song not too long ago called What You Want to Do. And it's a portrayal about a guy that basically I lay out a story of what they did to me and how I handled the situation. And I say in it,
fuck you and your boys in blue. That's right, cause I got things to go. Bang, bang, too. Woo!
stuff like that will put me out to be the real villain in the situation, actually. And but in the same sense, like to the ones that really know the stories and stuff like that, like they know I'm not actually the villain. I'm the one that's actually sticking up against the villain. But
we'll get into that here in a little.
But yeah.
I've got something for that.
but there's songs like that, yeah, you don't really go into the art part of it, really. You put the art into it, but it's a real subject. That's when I think like the music that really touches people, I guess. Like that's the conscious rapping, I would say. Like when you can like paint a picture that you can really see out and be like, man, this is like, he's not just making these words up just to make a good song. Like you can really, there's really conviction in the story.
Right.
That's But in the same sense, sometimes it can make you come out to look like the bad guy, though.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's true on anything that you do. I mean, like that. Any song that you come out there. There's a very one that came out this past summer that's got several people up in arms about. Jason Aldean did one.
Yeah.
Try that in a small town.
Yeah.
True.
People got so bent out of shape over that.
Why?
And, I don't understand why at all.
Well,
That's the
I
thing.
mean, I get, it may upset some people when they hear certain songs about how it's portrayed.
Yeah.
But when you're an artist and you're portraying it, you're not portraying it in a bad way.
No. And
As
he didn't
far
do
as your
anything bad.
thinking.
It's not
He paid
the
homage.
And,
yeah,
you
it's
know,
not the song. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, to me, that was just, it's just like, come on, man, just let him do his thing. If you don't like it, just move on.
Yeah.
That's but like, okay, if Jason Aldean wrote this song 5 years ago, we wouldn't be having this
Yep,
conversation.
exactly.
True.
Yeah.
We're in a political standpoint right now, and like a subconscious war that is like on an underline, like that's why that. Like, so that, like, Jason Aldean's song wasn't because Jason Aldean wrote it. And Jason Aldean's a cowboy from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That song was written because they had to find a subject to keep us divided.
Exactly, and that's one other
So-
thing. Is I believe that you believe, I'm sure as well, that the country is divided.
Oh, most definitely. Like, we, yeah, we're, the sad part about it is it's all right for a country to be divided if you have 12 different divisions.
Exactly.
Because then, as long as they all still find a common ground. But the problem is when you have a country or anything, not just a country, when anything is divided by two, and it's either this or this, then you're done because you're actually being controlled by this, who's making you decide this or this, so
Exactly.
they can.
When you're talking about
that's-
our bipartisan
Yeah,
system.
that's just
Yeah.
not. So I believe that you can survive by being completely divided, like into your things, like and have your own sub things, do this and that. But it has to be more than two,
Yeah.
and that's where our problem is.
And actually, me and Sticky were just kind of having a conversation before we even came in here along those lines. And just talking about the fact that whether we fall a little to the left or to the right, there's so many of us in our generation, Gen X, that are honestly more moderate.
Yeah,
It's not like whole hog either side, because you have to not just think about your own wants, within the political system, but what is going to actually benefit our country? What do I want my kids, my nieces, my nephews, cousins, whoever to have when I'm gone?
yeah,
It's not about just, all these selfish wants and messed up feelings and, the results of these echo chambers that everyone's living in.
yeah.
And if you stay so polarized, how can you ever reach across the aisle and find common ground?
I
You
think
know?
that's the point, though. Like I'm not a real. I don't trust our government at all.
Yeah.
And like, if you had, if you had a yacht, you could take 25 vacations a year and this and that, and you realize the only way you can do that is by keeping everybody else giving you money and paying you for no reason at all. The way you have to do that is to make these people feel like what they're doing is against the other person so they can spite each other.
And somehow
If
it's
you
going to
keep
benefit
spiting
you.
each other, then it doesn't matter. They're going to keep funneling money in, and you're still going to be on the yacht doing whatever you want. You have to cause the chaos. Like you can't live in the yacht and have everybody equal. It doesn't make
I
sense.
think we need to redefine the American dream, honestly. Because we can't all have, the house with the white picket fence, 2.5 children, and, the dog, and blah, blah, blah. That's just not life. Life is not fair.
Yep.
But we could at least be reaching out for a society where people at least have the basics. And that's just not what's happening.
Yeah, I agree.
We're always like, what's the old term? Keep up the Joneses.
Yeah.
Get
Keep
the
up
next
with the
big
Joneses.
thing. And I look at our houses and look at, say, third world countries, developing countries. They don't have half the shit we have, and would think, what are y'all bitching about? You got running water.
Yeah.
You got that can of beans in there. Why are you complaining about that?
Yeah.
Why boo hoo? I wish I had that. No, we're not where we should be for the country we live in. But we have so much more than we realize. And we really need a mental refocusing in this nation.
I agree with you on
know?
that. I agree with it. Like, we do need to have, like, I don't know how you would do it though, like, because really, most ways things get fixed like this is really war.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
they will tell you the pen is stronger than the sword. But, like, when has a revolution ever been written down?
Well,
It's
I can
always
see at
been
least
like-
it being the inspiration within revolutions, what's recorded, a speech given. to that degree, but when things get to a certain point in any group of individuals in a community, civilization, whatever,
Yeah.
society, um, it is going to come to physical confrontation if those words do not make a change or do not motivate to, you
Yeah,
know.
and that's probably like, and I don't know what the extent of like what civil war is going to happen in this country. If it, like, I don't know if it's going to be the whole country going crazy, but there's going to be something that is going to be written down in the history books as a second civil war. Actually, what I really think is like we're in it now, and we don't perceive it that way. So, like, if you look back, like 15 years from now, when you have people analyzing, like, this is probably since COVID, they'll probably talk about this as like the actual start of the Second American Civil War.
Yeah, the
And-
division of
Yeah, and they'll they might not call it the war, but they'll put in all that as the history
They're
of
gonna
building up
take at
to that
least
point.
one of the shootings or something that happened as that particular shot that rang out, and that was the first.
Yeah, and so right now, instead of you got battles, instead of people going out on the battlefield with guns, it's battlefields on the mics now. It's an internet war.
But see, I don't know if we can even say with the internet how much, how can I put it? That I feel like the internet is just that distraction, that propaganda that used to be distributed in different ways in previous wars. Okay? Because everyone feels that if they can get a Facebook account or Instagram or TikTok, they have their little soapbox, and whatever issue of the moment, and I do say moment because universal human history is a hell of a lot longer than our lifespan and our petty problems that we bitch
You're
about.
absolutely right. This is minute compared
Right.
to yes.
But they make it into these big things. Everything's a thing. You know, even if it typically isn't like comedians that now are being blasted for their performances, and people, I'm like, did you forget about Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Red Fox was
Red Fox?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God, yes.
yeah, like
I mean, so many of the old ones, and you want to
Yeah.
talk about unpopular opinions?
yeah.
You know?
Stephen Wright,
Sammy.
Stephen Wright. He was a white comedian, but he was still hitting the subjects in the '80s that if you say that now,
Right.
it'd be
George Carlin.
Yes.
Carlin, yeah.
Carlin, yeah. George
Carlin was
definitely.
he was a genius
Sammy,
at that.
Sammy Kinison.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
But-
my thing is this. Sometimes that comedy is supposed to make you stop and think, and sometimes it's supposed to make you stop and go, hey, you know what? If we keep making everything a thing, getting all emotional about everything instead of just laughing about it, at least I know in my generation, some of the most controversial things we laugh about. Why? Otherwise, you're either going to be hurt or pissed the F off.
Well, it's a way to. That's what's really cool about comedy, like, and it's the same in music too, really. But like, it's still a little bit different game. But what's cool about comedy is you get guys like Carlin, like Richard Pryor was great at it too. Like he would bring up subjects. Dave Chappelle, like you have to be kind of a dick. You have to be the one to put it on the forefront because it's an uncomfortable subject. So most people that are going to talk about these subjects are talking with one or two other people
Right.
behind closed doors.
Or
And
some
so-
of the, I think, what are they called? Like some of the different podcasts and TV shows that'll bring up things, but it's usually very polarized audience.
Yes, and so that's why I like it with these certain comedians because you can really put it. Bill Burr, he'll put out certain things that, like, whether you like it or don't like it, you stop and think. And that's the whole point of the comedian. Like, you might not have to agree on his subject, but you stop and think, and then you want to talk to somebody about it. Because then instead of being behind closed doors, just talking about minute, you're like, did you hear what he said on that comedy? Like, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
like
blah.
some
And
of
you,
your music even, and maybe
that's the
yours too.
that's
I
the
mean,
whole
Yeah,
point.
like
It's
Yep,
the
that's
conscious
point. Yep.
rapping
it is.
to just get somebody to start talking
Yeah,
about some of
like
these, actually thinking about some of these things.
Yep.
like where most guys, like I say, like Rado, Kane James, guys like that on our team, they write very more conscious writing where like the subjects I think about, instead of like wanting to talk about it from like the outside looking in, I want to be the guy that punches it right in the face. So like I'm looking at a conscious thing, but I'm like approaching it much differently.
Kind of like we have an issue here, and here's some solutions. And
Yeah.
if we don't have solutions, we need to actually start thinking about it together, individually first, and then come together and fix this problem.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of a shout out, a call, to arms to people who want to actually solve whatever problem you're actually putting out there to them.
Yes.
Yep.
And
on
then-
that note, with the shout out and the call, I think right now is the perfect time we take it to hear a word from our sponsor.
Sounds good to me, Sticky.
Hi, I'm Christy Lockwood, a licensed real estate agent with Iron Gate Real Estate. If you are looking to sell or purchase a home in the Mid-Missouri area, I would love to assist you in that process. If you want to give me a call, 573-239-4401. I'd be more than happy to meet with you and see how I can assist you.
And we're back. All right. So for the second half of this little show here, kind of want to, get into talking a little bit about that music video that you made. The one there, portraying yourself. That you were in there.
What you want to do?
Yeah. Can you deep dive into any of what what
Yeah.
led up to that?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
There was me, Joker, and a guy that was in our group at the time named Cheddar. And we were at the Bullspit studio, and it's about a block or so from where we live at in Bevere there. And I was working on our tour for everything because we were just so busy. Like, we were working probably 18 hours a day setting this
I
stuff
remember
up.
that
It was
tour, too.
wild.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call from Chedda's girlfriend saying that the cops are at the house, this and that. So we're like, what's going on? What's going on? We thought, the way she was on the phone, that somebody was snooping around our place and like she wanted us to come up there and like look around to make sure. So we get there and cop pulls up and says, like, it basically said the neighbor's description was exactly what I was wearing. And like, today I got a black hoodie on because my girlfriend made me this. So like, I'm just wearing but I always wear like the same get up. Like, it's like usually a brown hoodie, jeans, and ball cap.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop literally says my description, and I laugh because I thought he was making a joke. And I realized, kind of laughed, and when I was going in, it kind of dawned on me like he wasn't making a joke. And so either way, what happened was the neighbors seen somebody peek in their house. They do not like us. She straight up has told me, I don't want you or your people around, like the people that I help out, because they don't like the image.
Mm.
But also, in the same sense, I will say that the husband in this situation is a member of the White Knights out of Jeff City.
Yep.
So that tells you anything why they don't like rappers and some of the guys that's hanging around
Yeah.
with us. So I won't say his name,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
either way, he's a white knight out of Jeff City, neo-Nazi organization.
Yeah.
So, what happens is I try to go to the sheriff's station and say, yo, like, it wasn't our guys. Like, you need to like fix this problem. They said, oh, we'll have somebody call you back. Nobody ever called me back. I tried talking to the sheriff's station 3 different times, and they ignored me every time. That's the Macon County Sheriff's Station,
That's on my
Macon,
list,
Missouri.
actually.
Okay. So after ignoring me, it was like a Tuesday, right? My girlfriend gets home from work. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. I say, hey, we got to go to the cop shop and like tell them like they need to fix this, because now I'm hearing rumors of her telling people
Yeah.
it was us. I was like, if it doesn't get fixed, something's going to happen. We literally, I tell the cops, when we are literally come back to my house, it's 5 minutes from where I live. This woman that was saying this stuff is in our front yard with her dog. And I get out and just jump her ass. I mean, I'm wide, blah, 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 blah. She flips out, goes to her house. I'm inside, and all of a sudden, I hear like bickering going on. I look out my window, and the husband now has a baseball bat standing in my yard. I come outside. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, blah, blah, this, that. I was like, your wife's the one lying. Like, I've already called her out. Now, like, before this happened, when I said I went out and jumped her ass when she was in my yard, she told me straight up. I was like, Crystal, you know this wasn't us.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't care. I don't like you guys. All right?
All right.
When all this goes set up, either way, old boy got his ass whooped. The girl's boyfriend got smoked up too because he wanted some and realized he wasn't as buck as he wanted to
And
be.
this all probably happened on your property.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's trespassing.
Yeah.
So
So now this happens. I don't mess with cops. They go and file against me. So now I have an ex parte I have to go against. I have charges against me. I go and, okay, actually, I'm going to explain. While I put the husband on the ground and had him held, the son actually put a loaded rifle to my head and told me, get off his dad. And I was like, so I'm telling you this to build up to the next. I tell the story out on the What You Want to Do. And then after this happens, I see him, I don't know, a few weeks later, and we get in an argument. And I say, you're all scum for what you did. Okay, so we go to court over this. They get found. They committed perjury 2 or 3 different times on the stand. They found out, like the prosecuting attorney and judge found out everything they were doing. Like, it didn't take long for them to find out it was all a lie.
Yep.
But instead of finding me not guilty so I could charge them for perjury on the stand, they dropped the case so none of the stuff held up in court.
Like it never happened.
gotcha.
Yeah, and that's where I got pissed.
Yep.
Because you put defamation on not just my name, not my artist name, but my business, like everything we've been building, and you're trying to take it out like that.
Yep.
And then when I find y'all in court for the perjury, I was mad at the judge because she didn't let it be found not guilty, and then I could follow through with the perjury cases. So I didn't even file charges against the guy for assaulting me, for the son doing any of this. I'm not trying to mess with cops like that and judges. I'm not trying to go to court. But then for them to file against me, that's pretty dirty.
Pretty dirty.
So yeah, so after the video, I see him. I call them scum for everything they did. You ever point a gun at me again, I will draw back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back in court again, and now I'm facing jail charges
For threatening.
for threatening.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 counts of peace disturbance with the intent of causing harm to a minor. And yeah, and that's why I say, like, this song comes out, and I'm not good on social media. So, like, instead of me, like, really trying to explain, I get kind of spiteful and just, like, lip off words. And it makes me look real bad sometimes. Like, the ones that know me and ride with me, they don't care. But the ones that don't ride with me and are just seeing this from outside in, I look bad. I know I do. But in the same sense, like,
I'm sure we all do it.
I would rather look bad doing what's right than look good doing what's wrong, I guess, you know. I mean, so yeah, like when you said that, the villain stuff, like, I feel for the villain
Yeah.
in the movies. I really do, because I get it. Like, I'm not a bad guy, but I will do things that will perceive to the eye from, depends, you know, what angle you're looking at it. I can come off as a bad guy.
We'll definitely put a link in the description here of this, you know, to your video.
Yeah, like if they
Where
want
it's
to
at.
know like how it went down, like
Yeah.
I don't rap fast in it because I really wanted to get it out what the story was, and yeah, so it's laid out exactly what they did to me and exactly what I did and exactly what we're still going through.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about one of the realest songs I'd say I've put out.
Man, I told you motherfuckers not to be coming for bullspit. You didn't fucking listen. I know that you've all wanted me for some time now. I ain't getting this shit. But your little punk ass was too scared to face me down. So when this lion ass tweaker come, started jabbing her gums, you brought the boys to silence my noise. Started flashing your toys. Get the fuck out my way, bitch. I'm a fucking savage. I'll rip you to pieces. I'll eat you like cabbage. I'll eat your whole, spit out your bones right on the floor. Reach back, pop me another pig, eat me some more. You done picked a war, bitch, that you cannot win. And I won't be satisfied till your blood is thin. You came from my team for the very last fucking time. And I'm coming for you, boy, like you came for mine.
It is. Now, another thing, too, I've seen at a lot of your shows that you do.
Yeah.
You come dressed like one way. You got bib overalls on. Sometimes you're barefoot on stage.
Most of the
Is
time.
that persona or is that you?
That's pretty much me.
Yeah.
Like I even when I like party, I don't like to wear shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I don't like I got a big gut,
Yeah.
no ass.
Yeah. I hear you.
So like it's really easy to put on. Yeah,
Yeah.
you put a pair of bibs on a cunt. Like I've wore bibs for
Yeah.
I mean years. Like and no shirt. Like usually if I have a shirt on under my bibs, it's because I have to have a shirt on under my
Yeah.
bibs at whatever place I'm at.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense for sure.
See, you know, my little brother, our little brother,
Mhm.
he was on the last podcast.
Mhm.
Well, if he was here, he would say that's like a frog stood up and put on pants.
Mhm.
And that's what he describes me as. All front, no back.
That's what I am. I'm,
That makes yep.
that's exactly how I am. You look me at a front angle, you know, I got some moves going on. You look at me from the side, you're like, oh shit, lopsided one way.
I think so, you know, we got yeah.
Look like you about to fall over. It's like, why is it all there?
So do y'all have any new material coming out here soon?
Lots, like
Oh. Do tell,
Yeah.
tell.
5 albums actually.
Yeah.
That's been going on for like 10 months with all this
Oh,
court stuff, so I got in my head a lot,
mhm.
and it never stopped me from writing,
Okay, yeah.
but it stopped me from like really putting it out there and like caring really who heard it is like, because like it was like I have my certain group of guys within our group, and then like guys I talked to, and I know my stuff was hitting good. So like I knew that whenever I do put it out, it's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I'm sure a
I
lot of your artists that are associated with you as well with Bullspit all have a lot coming out.
they have
Yeah.
it's all
Mhm.
coming. Like
How many artists is there?
there's eight artists.
8? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've met
Okay.
most of them.
Yep, you
I'm
have.
pretty sure. Yeah.
We've had, like I say, we've had a few that's been in and out of Bullspit, like with us, and then no longer with us.
Yes.
But like, I don't know. I think there's been probably, hell, I'd say actually from the start of it all, we've probably had just as many guys leave as going in, because it's like really tough to keep it all going. Like everybody be on the same page, everybody be on the things. Like
Yeah.
egos is a real big thing in the rap game.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you control the ego and also like keep it all moving as a team? And like 8 of us have really found sync to do it with each other. And then like, I'm not knocking the other artists that we're not with anymore. It just didn't work
Not
with
everybody's
our
for
thing,
it,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So like, we have our diss tracks against each other and this and that, though, and it'll, you know, these diss tracks will be like, I'll
Yeah.
get you, but like, it's not like we're,
Yeah.
I'm not riding around really looking for these dudes. Like, it's not, you know, these are songs, you know?
Right.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Yeah, like, I guess I don't, not really particularly wishing them the best, but I'm not wishing bad luck on them. I just, whatever they do and find, I guess, find it, you know what I mean? Like, figure it out, but it just wasn't with us.
That makes sense. Well, yeah. And see, so there's a group of artists out there in the hip hop world, and I happen to know I've got contact with at least 4 or 5 different groups.
Sticky,
you
who
know.
don't you have contact with?
Who's that?
I
Oh, yeah,
don't know.
Winona,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a
My
contact,
goodness.
and whenever I have a musician reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're interested, in maybe trying to get some shows or something like that," I'm like, "Hey, man, look, let me get you in contact with, and then I'll throw this name out there to them, and I'll send them, I'll let you all know." I think
Oh,
I've
yeah.
done that a couple
Yeah,
times
you
with
have.
all as well.
I actually have
Yeah.
set up some guys because of you actually being the first guy to just
Yeah.
send them
Say,
towards
hey,
mine.
man, check these guys out. You know what I mean? And just see what's up with them.
But you
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
that kind of I wouldn't just say cooperation, but and consideration, forethought, and to want to make the whole game much better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That you guys aren't selfish.
No.
I mean, some people are, and I think that's what makes independent music so difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can go back to egos, but sometimes it goes to whoever's managing could go to who's producing.
Oh, I
not just artists.
I
so.
don't think. Here's what's crazy. I don't think I'm a very good manager. I don't think I'm very good at a lot of things when it comes to this game. But like, there's a lot of things that I have these really, I don't know, I have a knack for certain little things that like, if I can put the right things around me, like that, I don't know, help protect my weaknesses, then that's how it goes. So it's like, that's what we have. That's what we're all trying to do. All of us, everybody on our team is very flawed at the business side of it. We want to talk about art. We're tough. We are tough.
We're artists. We're not businessmen.
We're pretty,
Exactly.
yeah. Like we're pretty tough. Like when it comes to like, I don't know, having the nads to go for it. Like,
Yeah.
cause like the stuff that I've booked across from nation coast to coast and all these things, it's not because I'm like so suave or this that. It's because it's like I made the phone call.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the
like
hardest part,
close. Yeah,
He was up
like,
till 3:00 in the morning calling bars and
Yeah.
I'd
finding
make
places to play.
150
I mean,
to
it
200
wasn't like it
calls
was
in a day.
Instant thing.
I get told no 199 times
100%.
in a day.
You know, I
And
tell,
and then
I
get
tell everybody-
one show booked, you
Well, I tell
know?
everybody it's like you shove all these into a pipe, and that one straggler that comes out there's your show.
Yeah,
You know,
so
and that's what I tell everybody.
like
And
if
we do the same thing.
yeah, if I was gonna say what my strength is, it's
Yeah.
never giving up.
Yeah.
Like and going for it. Like most people as Amelia Earhart has a famous quote says 90% of the stuff the quote basically says to get what you want to do done, 90% of it is just doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
10% will fall in place. And like
Yeah.
the human mind will think about all the things they're going to do, but won't actually take the first step to do it.
Yep.
So like instead of actually taking the first step and then having a bunch of like, oh man, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I got to do this, this, and this. They just dream about the finished product.
Absolutely.
And so that's the human's biggest
Yeah.
downfall is the
Downside.
dream and not actually finishing or starting the project.
Yeah.
That's what actually has been my difficulty with the human species as a whole is we do the dumbest things or keep ourselves from doing great things, but we have so much friggin' potential.
Oh yeah.
you
That's
know?
that's what's cool about I really love this bull spit stuff, man. Like we get with artists that like had talent or has talent, but like they just don't believe in themselves because they're they think they believe in themselves, but when you really break them down, they're really scared because they don't. We're in an area and stuff like we've never been taught how to like really do this stuff. We're not like who around's really in the like big time in the music game. Like you got North Village in Columbia, which is killing it. Reckless, like they're like that's an awesome group of guys.
That's one group that I send people to.
But
as well.
to say anything north of that,
Yeah.
who the hell's doing this?
Yeah.
Who's ever even thought about it, and if they've thought about it, who's manifested it into anything? Like so, like everything we're doing is literally because the will to not give up.
Yep.
It's not because we have any real skills at anything.
No, exactly, for sure. And like I said, I send guys your all's way. I've got a list, and I'll tell y'all exactly the list. And so if anybody out there listening and is interested, get a hold of me. I'll put you in the right direction. I've got Mid-Mo's group with Bull Spit. I've got Reckless. I've got D-Mid, and I've got Work Jones.
Yep. Yes.
At Work Jones,
Yeah.
I did a show with Work, and he had that his own cordless mic, and
Yeah.
he was all over the place. And
He is so energetic.
I
Oh my
really
gosh.
He came off of our stage once and broke his ankle.
did he?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
He
wild.
kept going.
That's
And
wild.
Bob, you did last work stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has. What's really crazy is there's a lot of artists that like. I'm not a particular fan of the studio work because it's not just really my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can appreciate and just because like it might not be my thing, like you know when an artist is doing something good, you know when they're on it.
You feel that difference in energy
Ye-
between studio work and live.
Yeah, like so like Work Jones, like I'm not gonna go out and like particularly look for Work Jones on studio, and that's not because he's not good. He makes great work.
Yeah. True.
It's just not my cup of tea when
Not
it
your
comes
style.
exactly.
Yeah.
But when you want to talk about a live show,
Yeah.
a live show, like I will go and pay for a ticket and watch Work Jones and not even listen to one of his songs all year long
Yeah.
on studio
Another
because I
artist,
know
Blade out of St. Joe.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's just certain ones that like you can't deny the fact that like when you're gonna be there you're gonna feel it. And that's shout out to Work Jones.
you
You
go.
keep it
Yeah,
up, big boy. Like
And some artists is just the opposite, and you're like, oh my gosh, they need auto tune or whatever
Yeah, yeah.
to even perform, or and because they're not as good live, that energy is not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But I have people all the time that contact me with the cabana, and they're like, hey, I'd like to get set up with somebody, that in this genre.
Yeah.
And I happen to know, I mean, country, rock, metal, hip hop, you name it. I
Yeah.
know a lot of these
Yeah.
folks that do it from doing what I do with
Yeah.
cabana. And, I know who to, hey, I'll send somebody a message. And I said, okay, I'm going to send somebody your direction,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, it's cool because I seen like Aaron Tyler Marmon,
Yeah.
out of Kansas, get a hold of you on something about like setting up for a show or something. Like, so the fact that you're not just Missouri, like you're Midwest, and that's what's cool. And I don't know. You pulled one from Texas one
Yeah.
time. I remember that band. Like
This year alone, we've got Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Oklahoma, and I think that's about where we're at right now.
But I mean, that's when you really want to put like, how many places around are pulling in that kind of different genres into an area and pulling them from different, and you're in your third, like the start of your third year.
Getting ready to start our fourth year.
Fourth year, okay.
Yeah,
That's like, be proud of that, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
like you've really, what you have done has, what you're building is like, I don't know, like roots really, because when this does take off for you guys, like you're not flustered. You've already are prepared. You know what you've been doing, and you've put in harder work than you will once you become successful.
That'd be nice. Too.
Because
Oh, yeah.
the work you're putting in now, you're doing it, a lot of it for free
Yeah.
or losing money.
Yeah,
Like a lot of,
you
know what I
still have
mean?
not
Like,
taken a paycheck.
that's what I'm saying. So like stuff like that, like that's the compassion.
Yeah.
Like when it rolls over into something, like, yeah, it's going to be much easier for it because then you are getting paid now, and then you will, like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
really doing a good job setting these roots. Like,
Hopefully we
and
can keep it going.
yeah,
yeah.
no, you will
Oh,
keep it
yeah.
going. You
Yeah.
can tell by your compassion that like you're going to keep it going. I just hope that it's soon when like people around really start taking like, it's hard for people to take somebody they see on a daily basis seriously
Yes.
as a not really celebrity, but as a entertainment of
Local
thing,
entertainment.
Yeah.
So when people take away that stigma
Mhm.
and actually like realize like you're not just a local group, like you're really a legit thing.
Mhm.
When you break that stigma and you become the real deal to these people around here, it's you're
Carry on.
you're golden.
Yeah.
I mean, to put it lightly, this year we're already booked to August.
I know.
Yeah,
That's why
it's
like
insane.
you're
It's
killing it,
insane.
and that's why
We've got a podcast till like April.
Yeah.
Podcast to April and then booked to August. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
But
great.
we kind of want to wrap this up a little bit here. Real
Yeah.
quick, shout out some shows that you guys got.
Oh
coming
yes.
up.
I got a tour coming up March. It's a Missouri tour. March 1st through the 9th.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will post, it'll be in or around the major cities around Missouri.
Yeah.
So, and then I got a baby due March 23rd. So
Oh,
that's why,
congrats.
yeah, I can't-
That is so awesome.
yeah, I don't want to do a February tour,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do anything in April because I'm trying to
Well, I know
put
we
that
got
in.
y'all 420.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Well, I will do the
Yeah,
420, but
yeah,
yeah, I didn't want to do like an April 1st tour,
Yeah,
like
I don't blame
have
you.
a baby on the 23rd and be
No,
like,
No.
you got this, baby. Like,
Yeah. We got y'all for 420
Yeah.
along with a band out of Quincy, Illinois, Shades and Blue.
yeah,
And so a mix mashup going on of genres.
That's
What
gonna
I'm
be a
doing
fun
is this.
one.
And working really hard on possibly getting an edibles food truck out.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I saw a little ad for them. What was it? A few months ago,
Yeah.
I think.
Sent it to me.
And I was like, oh my god! I took a picture.
Yeah, so we're working on that. I'll know more for sure. Probably, middle late January on that. but
Yeah.
we still got plenty of time.
I will also say, one of my business partners, Kane James,
Yeah.
is going out on tour
Oh,
March 1st as well.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
we're doing separate tours
Kane's
just
played with
because.
Cabana to Cabana.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like he's legit. Like what? He's in Columbia now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Geeks from the Block, shout out, part of Bullspit Nation. Like them, like they're killing it right now. Like what's really neat is winter time we don't do a whole lot of shows.
Yeah.
And right now, like we all basically, I don't know, we all got together basically within the last 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and it really dug deep within each other and was like, we're not gonna let this break us. And we started writing. I bet I've written probably 25 new songs in the last 2 months.
I believe it.
Oof.
Like
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on.
my guys have written lots of songs. Like this new stuff is like,
I've even written a few.
yeah, like
And I'm
it's,
just I make some here and there, but I'm getting rolling now.
There
so.
you go.
yeah, it's like on a, it's really cool. So like I think where you seeing a lot of energy out of Bullspit Nation or Bullspit itself and the nation, you're gonna see the growth of like we're real. We're not. It's not a hobby no more. Like yeah. So it's time to take it by the horns. Bullspit Nation all the way.
Oh,
Gentlemen,
yeah.
I appreciate y'all coming on the show.
Thank you all
This
so
was
much.
So enjoyable.
I actually, I really enjoyed this, guys.
We deep dived into deep talks with Mid Mojo.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
It's a
you
great
so
title
much.
there for
Yeah.
It's just-
So anyway, yeah, folks, we'll be back again in a couple weeks. Got another nice guest coming in. I'm not gonna spoil any names for
No
anybody
spoilers.
because sorry on that one. But anyway, until then.
Mike! My Dutch dick sucked by a bitch named Mike. He's got 2 rings on his old dick hole. One is lipstick, the other is gold. The doctor looked at him with some big old